Good evening. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to be going over the last discussion of this class, and let's get into it. So, chapter 14, first question. What are the major types of sales promotion used in global marketing? And how do cultural and regulatory environments affect their success? So, there are four types. There's the consumer sales promotions, where it makes customers aware of a new product, and it could be in the form of loyalty programs, contests, sweepstakes, instant win games, etc. Then there's the trade sales promotions, where companies design their products to increase product availability within distribution channels. And it could be in the form of in-store displays, dealer incentives, trade shows, or premiums to retailers. Third, there's price promotions, so giving customers price reduction, coupons, or mail-in refund. It's the B2C kind of model. And then the non-price promotion is like free samples, premiums, buy one get one free sort of offers. But there's a disadvantage to that is with the investment of free samples is if there would be a return on investment when the customer receives it, because sometimes people will be like, oh, free stuff, and then the company doesn't know if they will return to the company or not, or buy that product that they sampled. And then so that's the first part, which is the types of sales promotion. And so let's get into the second part, which is the how do cultural and regulatory environments affect their success. So in the book, in 1990, there was a study that examined the coupon usage and attitudes towards coupons and sweepstakes in Taiwan, Thailand, and Malaysia. And so basically, this study characterized or classified these three countries to be a collectivist society because in their culture, they believed they would be influenced to use these coupons by family, close relatives, friends. But whereas here in America, whenever we see a coupon or like a discount opportunity, we take that. But over there in like Asia, they have a different culture. So if a company wanted to promote a sort of coupon or deal for their product there, it would have to they would have to be they would have to tailor it based on what country or culture there, because cultures are different or they vary. So in Asia, they classified them as collectivist societies. So again, it's not influenced by the company. They have to be influenced by others that give them their opinion on these coupons. And so another one could be like the high context versus low context communication. So in Japan, I think we discussed this too in the previous chapter or discussion, that Japan likes to have a lot of imagery and symbolism in their ads. And if they see a lot of words in their ads, they kind of like see the product as like not trustworthy, or it doesn't speak for itself. So they're most likely not going to buy the product advertised with so much wording compared to here in the US. So Japan is more of a high context, and then the US is low context. And then again, like sometimes sweepstakes could be viewed as gambling. So that's also like negative towards, I think in Islam or in the Middle East, they viewed the sweepstakes as like a form of gambling. And then regulatory environments. So again, some of the um, sales promotion that could affect their success, it is through strict promotion there's like strict promotion regulations in Europe. There's also product specific regulation restrictions and retail structure effects. So second question, what is the strategic consultative personal selling model and how does it guide global sales efforts? So, the personal selling model is a customer focused sales approach that emphasizes building long term relationships, understanding clients' needs deeply, and offering tailored solutions. That it's not just for pushing a product, it's like a deeper intimate connection with the customers. So, there's 5 steps. So first, you want to develop a personal selling philosophy. Second, you have to develop a relationship strategy. Third, develop a product strategy. Fourth, develop a customer strategy. And fifth, develop a presentation strategy. So again, this model is ideal for cross-cultural, complex, or high-value sales. And it thrives in global markets because it adapts to the customer rather than expecting the customer to adapt to the seller. And again, companies should be doing this, or they're getting into this, is to build credibility, trust, and differentiation, which are especially vital in unfamiliar or competitive international environments. The third question, how should companies decide between expatriates, host country nationals, and third country nationals when building a global sales force? So let's go through the first part of this question. How should companies decide between expatriates, host country nationals, and third country nationals? So let's define those first. So expatriates are employees from the company's home country who are sent to work abroad. A couple advantages is that they have a high control and consistency with corporate culture, values, and messaging. They also have a better product and company knowledge since they've been with them for, about probably a couple years. And they're also useful for launching a strategic or high risk market that needs strong oversight. And companies should use expatriates when they're entering like a new or strategic market. And they usually use expatriates only for selling complex technical or high involvement products. And then, so those are expatriates. Second, we have host country nationals. So local employees that are hired in the target country. So say a company here in the US wants to hire the host country national of China so they can input their product in the Chinese market. So a couple advantages is that they're culturally fluent, so they know the culture, the language, the sort of symbolism and tone. They know how to tailor messaging of the product to the target country, and they know the buyer behavior as well and customs. Also, they're lower cost compared to expatriates. They build trust and rapport with clients, and they avoid perception of foreign intrusion. And then this is best used when companies want to build strong local relationships, and the country may have like strict labor or regulatory barriers. So again, the host country national knows these rules already, and so having them, it would be an advantage. And then thirdly, we have third country nationals. So they're neither like an expatriate or the host country national. They are employees from a country other from the home or the host country. So they can offer a balance of global experience and regional familiarity. They're often more culturally flexible and adaptable, and can work with multi-markets as well, and can be more cost effective than expatriates. So these are best used when you need regional sales expertise. For example, a Singaporean managing Southeast Asia. And then you're scaling in multi-country zones and need cultural bridge builders. So learning about these three types of you know, sort of sales force, companies should, it's not a one size fit all thing. So companies need to tailor like hybrid sales force approaches when tailored to their mission in delivering a product to an international I can't think of the word, customer. There we go, customer. So I put that that companies should establish a hybrid sales force composed of expatriates and in-country nationals, and that or they could hire sales agents to enter easily into an international market. So sales agents are short term, they have short contracts, they're also less expensive than expatriates, and can gain entry into like a target region. And then after that contract ends, the company can enter their manufacturer sales force, which I thought was really interesting. So a couple of ways a company can go through with promoting their product through these different sales forces and doing different combinations, and there's so many different ways. So I thought that was really interesting. Fourth question: what are the key advantages of direct marketing globally, and what challenges do companies face when adapting these strategies across countries? So key advantages, so direct marketing, it calls for like personalized communication. So companies can tailor messages to individual preferences, behaviors, and demographics. And it helps to create stronger emotional connections across different cultures. It's very cost efficient. It's great for A/B testing, messaging, and promotions. Good for relationship building and loyalty and long-term customers as well. And campaigns can be launched quickly, tested fast, and adapted on the fly. And then one key challenge that I found is the cultural sensitivity. So again, companies need to make sure that the messaging style, tone, and visuals work with the country they are trying to promote to. And we said this again, I think, in a previous chapter and sort of in this chapter as well. And that sometimes to over personalization with the personalized communication, you tailor the message personalized by the people you're targeting, and based on their responses and their buying behavior. But because of that, it can be like over personalization can be really creepy, and some cultures that value privacy. So like if they search up something, and that search in their browser, it's kind of happening right now too, is when you search up like a keyword on Google, let's say Pokemon, you're gonna get a lot of ads that show like Pokemon related things. So the company's target marketing, like the meta ads, the Google platform kind of like directs that company to the person's, to the person's view based on the keywords. And I think we'll be going over this in an article too. But yeah, over personalization, a lot of target, it could be like seen as creepy, and like they're being watched, they're being heard, so it kind of like loses their interest and sort of trust in the company, because they're like, it seems like they're secretly listening. Okay, so that was the fourth question. The fifth question: how do tools like sponsorships, product placement, and interactive media contribute to an integrated global communication strategy? So sponsorships, a company pays a fee to have its name associated with a particular event. So it helps with global reach, local relevance, positive brand association, and trust building. For example, Coca-Cola sponsoring the Olympics. It ensured like the unified global messaging while allowing local promotions, packaging, and campaigns around the same event. Like Coca-Cola puts it all on like the billboards or their like the signage in the Olympics, like they have their advertisements everywhere. Product placement. So this one is just like products that are indirectly marketed. So being put in like a TV show, for example, or sitcom, or some type of like, what do you call it? Or social media. So, for example, Coca-Cola, the main character in this sitcom is drinking a Coca-Cola can. It's kind of like indirectly showing the viewer, marketing to them, subliminally messaging that, Coca-Cola is good. It also brings in the functionality and the coolness of the product. So that's product placement. And then third, interactive media is sort of, it includes digital platforms that invite audience participation, such as websites, apps, social media, AR or VR games, and live streams. So Twitch has like this sort of audience integration or in-game interactions where a gamer, a Twitch streamer is sort of like gaming, and the audience can come in and like participate as well by like chatting in the group chat, or like the streamer will also put like a poll or something and they would decide how the game goes. So it's that two-way two-way engagement, and it sort of enhances the connection with the person, with the audience to the company, or person, influencer. Also Nike, they have interactive apps as well, interactive fitness apps, so allows like global users to engage with branded content in locally customized ways. So they have different workouts in different languages, or local running challenges as an example. So those are all the questions for chapter 14, and we'll be getting into the first article, titled "Sorry Madmen, the Ad Revolution is Here." So first question: how are artificial intelligence and data analytics transforming the way global brands conduct personal selling and promotional campaigns compared to traditional ad strategies? So AI brings about hyper personalization at scale. So originally, traditional strategy, it was kind of like a one size fits all type of messaging through like brainstorming, storyboarding, and long production cycles. So in order to create a campaign, I think it would take about like a couple months to a year. But now AI's driven strategy is like you create a campaign that's less than a month, probably like 2 to 3 weeks, with a whole full schedule, production, what the wording is going to be, how the campaign's going to look like, the whole thing shortened. Meta and Google are enabling advertisers to simply set like a business goal and budget, and the AI will generate personalized creative like ads tailored to individuals in real time. And so that's like hyper personalization. Second, they have dramatic acceleration of creative development. So before, like, again, creative production cycles took months, involving large teams, multiple iterations, and high agency fees. But now AI tools can take days or weeks to create a whole storyboard. And in the article, Mondelez, the creator of Oreo and I think a couple of companies, he created a storyboard in 3 days using generative AI. And that the AI generated Chips Ahoy ads would have taken like 3 months using traditional processes. I also put that. Oh, also it's using AI and data analytics. It is cost efficient and has good resource reallocation. So Mondelez is investing 100 million over 3 years to integrate AI across his marketing operations. And his goal is to cut agency fees and production costs by 20%, which is around 40 million, which is insane. So again, this reflects a shift in relying on external creative agencies to internal data-driven automation tools. And so again, using the AI replaces guesswork with like data, speeds up creative processes, and scales like personalization globally, which are a huge advantage for in the long run in the huge game. Second, what are some advantages and potential ethical concerns related to hyper-targeted digital promotions driven by AI and consumer data? So again, some advantages are increased relevance and engagement, improve ROI and efficiency, customer loyalty and retention, sort of what I said in the previous questions, answering that. So some of the ethical concerns and risks, in order to be ethical, you need to be transparent, make sure your customers have consent when opting into any like subscription or text, and then also be minimal about how much data you collect from them, have strong security protocols, and have human oversight when using AI. So it's not completely dependent on AI, because again, AI can be very formulaic and redundant or robotic, and losing the human voice and replacing it with a robotic voice for a brand's image can greatly tarnish it, and the customer can lose its trust in it. And then not following these ethical concerns, you risk having like privacy invasion, lack of transparency and consent, data security risks, psychological manipulation, and like a regulatory non-compliance. So again, failure to align with global privacy laws like the GDPR, CCPA, or PIPL can result in fines and reputational loss. And then the third question, in what ways does this shift challenge traditional agency models like those portrayed in Mad Men, and how might sales and creative teams need to adapt? So from the first question with the intuition from the traditional media, again, creative teams had to go through, they had to brainstorm, use their intuition and kind of guess, do storytelling, and it'll take them like a couple months to create a a whole storyboard and the whole campaign. So now it's transitioning from intuition to data driven creativity. Yeah, so now AI can generate multiple variations of copy, imagery, and layouts using performance data to determine what works, and it's not just creative flair. Also, it's faster, leaner production cycles, so traditional agencies relied on large teams and long timelines. But now companies like Mandalas and Meta are using generative AI to create campaign elements in days, not weeks. And also there's a decentralization of creative power. So in the Mad Men model, it was that agencies were the gatekeepers of creativity. So if a company wanted to have their, ads created, they'd have to go to these big creative agency corporations to have it created, drafted, and then like set and foot. But now with AI, like in-house teams and small businesses can use the AI to create their own ads and not have to depend on such creative corporate agencies. And so but still the brands, small businesses, and in-house operations, they need to have their own skill, their style, their own voice implemented into their branding and into their advertising and promotions. So everything is not solely on AI. And that, I think companies need to hybridize their work. Sales and creative teams need to use their own intellect, their own creative style, their intuition, and then combining that with the AI's interpretations and inputs and their data that they've collected, and sort of have this happy middle of creating that improved and finalized sort of campaign and storyboard telling, because everything now, it's sort of, there's still a heavy reliance on AI. Like I see it on Amazon with their flyers, or their wording. Sometimes it's like the English is not correct. The images are generative AI. So again, I think companies are losing that human touch, that soul, and that can lose trust, that could lose people's trust. But even for us as a small business, Herbalaria, we do use a little bit of AI for some product descriptions, and a little bit of just the wording and the messaging and the branding. And it's kind of for me, as a social media marketer, I am slowly learning how to integrate this generative AI, like ChatGPT, for example, into my work, into how we spread our message, our mission, our vision, without losing the true voice of the company. So reading this article was really enlightening. So I'm glad that this was shared for this final discussion. It gave me a lot of insight and points on how to integrate the way how I work and how we should work as a company. Okay, so that was the first article, and then finally the second article, which is titled Brands Answer Economic Instability with Marketing Investments. So first, why are some global brands increasing their spending on promotions and customer engagement during periods of economic instability? So, promotions and let me see, what was it? Brands increasing their spending on promotions and customer engagement. Yeah, so with this push of marketing or investing in the marketing. And especially now too, it's sort of like we're facing an inflation and heading into recession. And during this global crisis, a lot of people are sort of managing their money and like they're a bit like skeptical on where to spend their money, saving up for, until this whole economic storm passes. So one, marketing is proven its value as a growth driver. So during 2020, the pandemic, COVID-19, marketers showed they could respond quickly to uncertainty with innovation and adaptability. CMOs are leaning on marketing to help navigate change, retain customers, and build future growth. Rather than retreating this marketing, brands are doubling down on capabilities that help them stay connected to customers and competitive in the market. Second, digital platforms enable deeper engagement. So brands are investing in like apps or just new digital technologies to help enhance their customer experiences with them, reduce friction, and gather valuable data from them. Again, this helps to create that personalized value, the customer satisfaction, and their loyalty. And then, so like in the article, they stated the hospitality brands like the SV Group are leveraging tech to enhance the customer journey. So they have an app where they ask their customers or like their patients, like, how is your experience with the hospital, and like, is there any ways they can improve upon it? And it just helps to get their insight and see how how the company is operating as well. And then third, there's that AI and personalization drive like efficiency and precision. So targeting what a person wants in the company is essential. What kind of products they like, what kind of services. It helps to also drive like ROI and profits. So, and also they have a long-term positioning. So again, I think companies are now learning to play the long game, have this sort of long relationship with their customers, even if it takes like 5-10 years, it's all going to be worth it in the long run, because if you want to maintain the company and their mission and vision, it is essential to build a long-term relationship with their customers. So again, that too is to build brand equity, maintain at the top of the mind, and to be well positioned when the company rebounds. And the second question, how can personal selling and loyalty building promotions serve as strategic tools during economic downturns in international markets? So personal selling builds trust and adaptability. So having that one-on-one with selling is, or like, for example, vending at an event is that sort of personal selling. You kind of, you interact with the customer in person, you give them like a sample of a product, you talk to them, ask about their concerns, or like what are they looking for, what are they searching for in the company. And again, you build that long-term relationship, even probably get to follow them on their socials or something, like you get to know them personally and build that connection. So during these uncertain times, humans need to find that connection and that reassurance that everything is going to be okay. And so they need they seek that kind of reassurance, not just in people but also in the things that they buy and in the company. So another one is loyalty promotions retain core customers. promotions such as exclusive offers, point-based rewards, or bundled savings can incentivize repeat purchases and reduce the risk of churn. And then it could also help for future segmentation and personalization, further helping the company understand its consumer base. Also, I put that customized offer strength and local relevance. Yes, so customized offers strengthen local relevance, again, personal selling. So international markets, having localized personal selling and loyalty strategies allow a brand to respond to cultural expectations, match price sensitivity, show empathy with local economic conditions. So like a global brand might offer value-focused loyalty programs in inflation-affected countries while using personalized upselling in more stable regions. And so those were two. So personalized selling that builds trust and adaptability, and it also strengthens local relevance. And then for the loyalty programs, it helps to retain core customers. And then third, what risks do firms face when they continue promotional spending during uncertain economic times, and how can they justify it to stakeholders? So a couple risks I put that there is the short-term financial pressure. It can increase like marketing costs at a time when revenues may be declining. And so investors or internal stakeholders might see it as irresponsible when cost cutting is expected. There could also be a misalignment with the consumer sentiment, return on investment uncertainty. It could be due to like fluctuating demand or changing buyer priorities. And then again, operational strain. There is increased demand from promotions. It could strain supply chains, customer service, or fulfillment. And so with these risks, we have in order to sort of justify to these stakeholders to keep investing in promotional marketing, is that the company should frame it as a strategic investment in the long-term growth. You do not want to you want to play in the long term, you want to stay in the market for a long time, depending on the company's wishes. Also, backing decisions with consumer data and forecasting. The company can use like AI to again collect the consumer data, the amount of data that's needed to sort of justify how it would grow, because they need that investors need to see growth. So AI can help to create scenarios of like during these economic downturns or upturns, and see how the company will take off when using the promotional strategies, and just kind of like implementing factors and stuff can help to influence them that this is a good investment to use. And then and then demonstrating clear linkages to business outcomes like loyalty, share, retention, and the entry into new markets. So again, showing that data that this is guaranteed, that there will be like this growth and success. It's imperative. So again, smart promotional spending during a downturn isn't about ignoring reality. It's about preparing for the rebound ahead of everyone else. You want to think ahead of time in the future, so you can stay ahead of the game, and that you have a long-term support from your customers. And so that's it. I think these are all the questions and the whole discussion. Whew, that was the whole thing. But thank you, Professor. Thank you so much for teaching this class. Again, I'm kind of bummed that you weren't able to host the final meetings, but that's okay. I learned a lot from this class, and I applied it to my work, um, for my company, my business, Herbalaria. Um, and it helped to understand like what are the outcomes when you want to market internationally, because we are an e-commerce business, but it's like, and we do reach out internationally, but it's like, how does the environment look like when you're physically, you know, going into a new international market? And yeah, it's I really learned a lot in this class, and I'm glad that this is my final class for CP, like graduation, for graduating Cal Poly Pomona. So thank you again, Professor. I hope you have a great week, and we'll stay connected, hopefully like through LinkedIn. And yeah, it was nice knowing you.